So tonight's Monday Night Raw was sort of interesting in a different way, meaning that, it wasn't for the most part all that necessarily entertaining to me. To me, it wasn't all that entertaining. However, it did what it needed to do. It did what, to build up to WrestleMania. It set up matches, officially. I mean, we're what, a little less than 2 weeks to WrestleMania, so perfect time to kick off, and perfect time to need. I mean, you want to be like the last week of WrestleMania being like, oh crap, we need to finalize this match, that match, and this match. Oh crap, you know what I mean? So let's kick it off. We started Monday Night Raw with the, let's see if my, okay, excuse me. You had the whole interview section, actually, yeah, you had the whole interview section with, actually that was, sorry, just remember. Okay, guys, remember it's 3 hours of my night, so bear with me. All right, you had the whole Stephanie McMahon came out, the Queen. She came out there talking about how she believes that her husband is going to beat Daniel Bryan, that he's going to end the Yes movement, and that he's going to do this and do that. And out comes, of course, Randall Keith Thornton saying, "Wait, Steph. I'm sure I don't mind if your husband beats Daniel Bryan, but he's not leaving taking my title." And out comes, yep, everyone's favorite quote unquote Hollywood star, Dave Bautista. And he's all like, "Well, Randy, you still suck, blah blah blah, yada yada yada." And he just, and then it ended up with a speech, and then freaking, Stephanie got slapped him in the face because he was talking about Triple H. Because remember last week how Triple H was all like, "Oh, Randy, you're screwed up in the head, and Dave, you're a wannabe actor who thinks he can become a Hollywood star coming in here, thinks he knows everything about wrestling." And the crowd tonight in Brooklyn. Now you guys know me. I'm from Boston. I hate New York. I hate freaking I just hate everything about New York. But New York is a beautiful city. It's just the people there. Um, but yeah, the crowd tonight in Brooklyn was very nice. It was a good crowd. So props to Brooklyn. Big props to Brooklyn. But yeah. So then you had the Fatal Four Way to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Big E's. Big E Links, remember Big E. Christian versus Del Rio versus Ziggler versus Sheamus in Fatal Four Way. Christian ends up winning. Kind of saw it coming. Just because obviously Big E being the face, so you knock Ziggler and Sheamus out of there. Del Rio, Christian. Christian seems like he's been on a roll lately, so it makes sense for him. And of course, Christian, well known for his IC title runs in the past, so could be good between him and Big E. So I'm not knocking that out. And then you had the host Sin Cara and Damien Sandow. Oh, this was just WWE's cheap ass way to plug Scooby Doo WrestleMania mystery movie that I heard was freaking horrible. And by the way, what the hell is Sin Cara in that movie? What the hell is he gonna say in the movie? Like, what is he gonna do? This? Like, I don't get it. What's the point of that? Like, someone please tell me a logical reason why. I just don't know. Anyways, Sin Cara wins. Oh, damn it. And you, along with another guy who I'm going to mention real soon, have fallen so far in the last year. Okay, so then we go to Ryback and Curtis Axel, aka Rybaxel, versus Los Matadores. This was just the freaking Shield getting their revenge after the match. This is just basically about the Shield basically kicking freaking Rybaxel's ass after what happened on SmackDown, was it? I think it was yeah, it was SmackDown. So, that was mainly about that. Then you have Gunther getting interviewed in the middle of the ring by Michael Cole. How many times have we seen Michael Cole interview freaking Triple H? I mean, thank God a freaking was it WWE's YouTube page had the beautiful and talented Renee Young. I mean, freaking Michael Cole. Kind of sad how one day Michael Cole's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. That's for another story. So you have God basically come out there saying he's gonna end this movement, and that we're in the reality era now. Really, Triple H? We're not in the reality era, really? This is coming from the guy who's COO of the company, who's one of the top, freaking shows is a reality TV show called Total Divas. You want to tell me how we're in the new reality era? Thank you for pointing that out, off Captain Sherlock. Oh god. Yes, no. Alright. So you remember how I mentioned earlier, just about a minute or two, about how good old Damon Sandow has fallen? Yeah, now we go to Fandango. Now last year he was facing Hall of Famer Chris Jericho, who went over at WrestleMania to don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those people who's gonna sit there and say, "Oh, there's so much potential with Fandango." I never said that, never have. Well, but still, I will have the mighty have fallen, nonetheless. Cody beats Fandango. I guess gives Cody some momentum heading into the 30-man battle royal at WrestleMania. I have no idea. And then you have this whole Arnold Schwarzenegger Hulk Hogan thing. I'm like, oh my god, it's the 1980s. Okay, here's the thing I have for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I get it, he's a wrestling fan and everything. But the man hasn't been relevant in, like, what, 20 years? Like, when was the last time Arnold was relevant? Alright, other than Terminator, what has he done that's been so goddamn successful? And for the love of God, if you say The Expendables, I will shoot you in the freaking head, alright? Because Expendables is the perfect example of former 1980s action stars who think they still have it when they're about 1 minute away from a cardiac arrest, when the whole entire movie is just, oh, we gotta go kill some random people. Action, 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 when there's basically no storyline whatsoever. I'm sorry, I'm just one of those guys that cannot deal with that movie. But anyways, into this segment. Basically, The Miz coming out there on the Mighty have Fallen, another one for The Miz, just several years ago, your main eventing against John Cena. He was WWE champion. And now he's getting his ass kicked by Hulk Hogan and some co-star of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who I never heard in my life. Maganello, what the hell was his name? Maganello, freaking Italiano, I don't know what his name is. But yeah, that was that. And Tennis O'Neil versus Big Show. Okay, this is the perfect example of what I said last week. What was the point of breaking up Darren Young and Tennis O'Neil? What was the point? Darren Young is doing literally nothing, and Tennis O'Neil is getting chopped out. What was the point? Like, WWE, you want to, like, your tag team vision was, like, the best it's been, depth-wise. And now, what's the point? So then you have, okay, this whole John Cena bathroom thing. What the hell is this? Like, is John Cena think it's WrestleMania 17 with freaking Stone Cold looking himself in the mirror in the bathroom, all like, what the hell was? Oh god, the segments that have John Cena in are great. Alright, so then you have Luke Harper versus John Cena, part 2, because they had their match on SmackDown, you gotta have it on Raw. You know how it goes. But yeah, so they had their match. It wasn't too bad. I liked how the crowd was really into it. I think that made the match just a bit more important. Obviously, you're building up Cena versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, which, a few weeks ago, honestly, I could care less. But the more I see these vignettes, the more I see these promos, the more I see them two working a program together, it's actually good. It's refreshing to see John Cena in a mid-card feud, which could go very well because, Bray Wyatt particularly doesn't have to necessarily win at WrestleMania. Do I want him to win? Yes. Do I think he should win? Yes. But it's not all that necessarily he wins, as long as he doesn't look weak, per se. As long as he actually brings John Cena to the limit, he looks good for Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, if you ask me. So, that's good and all. Okay, the 12-year-old and the freaking pirate, big booty bitch, I'm gonna start calling her. You get Naomi and AJ for the title. AJ's like, LOL, I don't feel like being in this match. So Naomi wins. Obviously, AJ keeps the title. And then Vicky comes out. And she comes out. And she's all like, I hate you. You're still my boyfriend. I hate you. Blah, blah, blah. So then she comes out with the whole Vicky Guerrero Divas Championship Invitational. And you have all these divas come out. The Bella Twins, Natalia, Eva Marie, Emma, Exxon, Alicia Fox, Summer Rae, Rosa Mendez, that lovely English muffin Layla, and Tamina. So what the hell is this gonna be? Like a freaking huge ass championship scramble match? Is this gonna be like a battle royal? Is this gonna be like a gauntlet match? What the hell is this gonna be? But yeah, at least it's something. Last year I know, obviously you saw Total Divas, they're all upset. I know Total Divas is a reality TV show, before anyone tries to correct me. That, they're all upset, oh, we got bumped off the card. Well, obviously now this year they're not gonna get bumped off the card. And should be, yeah, the 12-year-old is screwed. Some may say, oh, this is because CM Punk and WWE is so screwed, so upset about CM Punk. Yeah, it could be the case, but then again, this bitch has been champion for 300 motherfucking days, alright? Seriously. When you have an girl such as underage and she's a Divas champion for that long, it's gotta stop, alright? So then you had the bad guy, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. He's now inducted in the Hall of Fame. And you know what? I'm glad Scott Hall's been inducted to the Hall of Fame. And it's interesting. I know DDP tweeted it on Twitter. He mentioned that he's proud of both, Jake the Snake Roberts and Scott Hall. Two guys who probably without DDP, to be honest with you, probably would be dead right now. Sadly to say, they probably would be no longer with us. So with what he's done with the whole DDP yoga and everything, and Scott Hall, I mean, I'm sure many of you guys have seen the ESPN documentary. I don't think it was only like 15 minutes, but it's still a very good documentary on Scott Hall and how most of his friends thought he'd be dead within days. So, I mean, if Sean Waltman, aka X-Pac, literally said that he thought that you're going to be dead, out of all people, freaking X-Pac, you know you're screwed. Alright? But, it's glad to see him being put in the Hall of Fame. I'm all for it. His Hall of Fame class is good. Second straight year WWE, we've done a good Hall of Fame class. I'm proud of you. So then you had Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins versus the Real Americans, We the People, Jack Swagger and Cesaro. Match pretty much, it's not a bad match. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose wins. Like I said, it's building up. And then you also got another match added. You have the Shield, Ambrose, Rollins, Reigns, of course, versus the New Age Outlaws and Kane. So basically, it's the Attitude Era versus the Shield. That's basically what it is. The mid card of the Attitude Era versus the Shield, which obviously the Shield are going to go over, and we all thought several weeks ago, Shield triple threat match for the U.S. title, and I'm not going against this match. This match could be okay, but how long is Dean Ambrose going to be United States champion? And I know the United States title don't mean obviously as much of anything at all as what they used to be, but damn. So then you have the final six. Okay, this is when I get pissed off. Okay, it's the Undertaker's birthday, yada yada yada. That's cool and everything. And Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, like, oh, we're gonna celebrate it. Paul Heyman celebrating something of the Undertaker's. Gee, where ever heard this before? Well, him and Big Show with the whole No Way Out feud, 2003, and he's giving him presents and surprises, and all this and that, and whatever. But I think it was cool. You brought the whole Yuri thing out, and you had the casket. I thought that was pretty cool. But here's where I have a problem with this feud. I mentioned on Twitter earlier today that I wasn't so much into this feud because without a storyline, it obviously a bit more has a storyline now, but it's still lacking of it. And also, what is the point of this? You having the Undertaker dominate Brock Lesnar. We all know the streak is not going to end. At least we don't think it's going to end. But you're making it worse even sore now. This is kind of like when last year when you had CM Punk trying to go for the streak. And yes, he did have his moments that he looked strong, with the urn and everything. That's great. But you still, that was still around the time when you guys remember last year when CM Punk lost to Kane. And when you lose to Kane, we'll expect you to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania to end the streak? How does this make any sense? What is the point of freaking having Brock Lesnar try to end the streak at WrestleMania, but he's looking like a bitch? Because The Undertaker's freaking dominated this feud. What is the point of this? man. Unless next week you're gonna have the Undertaker, being like, Lesnar, you'll rest in peace. And then out of nowhere, freaking Lesnar will hit the Kimura lock, or freaking F5 the Undertaker right through the announce table. Then I'm like, okay, well at least it looks somewhat strong, but even then, which probably won't even happen, because you know how WWE is lazy in the last week of WrestleMania. It's all like, oh, everything's taped because we're too lazy. We gotta take all the superstars under one. But with that being said, why? Why? Like, how are we supposed to take Lesnar seriously? I mean, I know we get to lost the God at Mania last year. I lost the Super Cena just a little less than 2 years ago at freaking Extreme Rules after Lesnar beat the holy hell out of him, and I don't know, like, hey, done. But yeah, back when Cena said he was gonna take a break. But the point is, guys, what? I just don't understand. It's just I don't. How am I supposed to take Sable and Michelle McCool serious at WrestleMania? Yes, I didn't botch. Sable and Michelle McCool. You get where I'm going with this. Taker and Lesnar. How am I supposed to take this seriously? It's just. I mean, sure, the match would be decent. I'm not gonna say, oh, the match could suck. It's just WWE could have done, I think, or could have done, or should have done a better job building to this match at WrestleMania. So that's just me. I'm rambling along. You guys know who I am. What you guys think of Raw tonight?